Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today on Collection of Lessons, I want to talk about relationship sync. It's part of my Collection of Lessons series. Anything I say on this channel is not anything advice, and let's get going. So when I talk about relationship sync, I want to talk about being in line with somebody else for like syncing in a sense. Um, so something like, if let's say there's a scale, a scale from 0 to 10, and if you're giving everything you've got, at level 10, to a friend, let's say this is like, I don't know, those sync icons, those sync icons? And let's say your friend over here is giving you back like a 7. It's like if you're doing everything for a friend, you're going out of your way, you're hanging out, you're spending money, you're spending time, and they basically be like, yeah, like we could do that, that's cool. Yeah, maybe not. And it's like you try to do the best you can and you prioritize them in your life. It's like maybe you over here, we'll call this you, should drop that relationship down to a 7. And when I talk about like the numbers 0 to 10, it's like, like your spouse or significant other should be a 10. It's like you do anything for them and they give you the 10 back, and it's like they do anything for you, and that's usually, that type of thing. And if it's a 7, it's kind of like, yeah, I'll respond to you, when I'm done my meeting, or at the end of the day when I have time, or it's an average type of relationship. And then it's usually like anything less than a 5, it's generally not prioritized, and it's kind of like, there's not much of a relationship in it. When I talk about relationship sync, I'm saying that basically just match your level with other people's levels, and they could be up and down, +1 or minus, but like you don't want to be like, giving your all to somebody who takes it all. Just takes all the love, all the money, all the time, all the energy that you give, and doesn't give anything back. That's not great. So when I talk about syncing, it's kind of like, if you think of like, we'll draw some categories here. I'm not sure how many, I think about this many. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Your highest, or at least mine, I'll talk about mine. My highest priority is my family. My immediate family. So that's my kids and my spouse. After that is usually like not immediate family. Usually, sometimes, not all of them. So that's like, mom and dad and sister, and depends who you call family too. It's like, some of my best friends are in this category too, where it's I spend, I prioritize my time with them, and I spend time with them when I can. I try to include them in the life of me and the kids. I try to include them in the life of number 1, right? And then after that, you kind of got like those like friends that are kind of like lower on the totem pole. We call them lower friends. And then you kind of have like acquaintances here, and then like nobody's over here. If you think of it like that, try and draw a line. So you have your friends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These would be usually like, I don't know, somebody that you meet at a grocery store, right? So like, or that person that whenever you go to like the coffee store, they know your order. That's kind of like a nobody. You don't really spend time with them. You don't talk to them outside of what they're doing, or outside of work, or their purpose, or your purpose. They're just nobodies. Acquaintances are kind of like, friends at work that are there, and you talk to them, but you don't talk to them outside of work, right? So you kind of match the level that they're at. And it's like, well, if they don't want to hang out after work, then I don't really want to hang out with them after work either. I mean, sometimes, somehow, you could break the ice and be like, hey man, do you want to hang out after work? Yes. And then all of a sudden, you move them up into like a lower friend type of thing, where it's like you see them once a month, or you talk to them once in a while, you hang out with them, and that type of thing. And people can move up and down, right? I've had friends that were that were higher up, they were like family to me, that they're not really there anymore. And that's just either different, timelines, if, obviously if you're having kids, and the other person is like single, not having kids, and doesn't have like an immediate family, it's like, well, yeah, you're on different kind of levels, but you just try to match people where they're at. I've had friends that go up to 10s for years, go down to, lower in the scale here, right? And it's just, if you just match where people are at, that's generally the best case scenario, and that's how you can, have more friends. It's like some of your friends, it's like they're giving you like a 5, and you're trying to give them a 7, and then you're like frustrated, and you're like, oh, I just want to hang out with them, or I just want to. They're not really, I'm trying to do it more than they're giving me, and back in friendship, and it's just not working out. It's like, just don't get frustrated with them. Just match their level, and then you can fill in like a new friend, you know? So it's like, I don't know. The whole idea of relationship sync that I found that, causes less struggle, strain, and fights and emotional, stuff on my brain meats. It's basically like just match people where they're at. If they just talk to you and they never want to see you in person, then don't see them in person. It's just really interesting if you think of it like that. It's like that's where they're at. So give them a 5. And this scale on the right is a little bit different than this one. This is more of a priority scale. This is like you want to give your 40 hours, let's say a week. It's like the full-time job. Give your 40 hours to your family at least. Whereas these ones, maybe you give them like 6 hours a week. And then it's like these ones, like maybe you give them like a few hours a month. And then it's like these ones you just kind of like whenever you see them. They're kind of there. They're just like, at work or wherever. And these there's just no time here, right? You just see them when you see them, and there's nothing more than that, right? It's like maybe this is like 3 hours a year or something. But like, anyway, that's what I'm trying to get at in a sense is basically like move them up and down your scale wherever they're at for time commitment and prioritizing, and then you do that based on where they're at with you in a relationship. I don't know, if you think of it like that, it kind of helped me a little bit throughout the years, just easing off of friends and learning to grab new friends, along the way. Is kind of like, there's different things that qualify as a friend, right? It's like, do you have the same interests? Are you doing the same things? Are you going after the same goals and dreams and that type of thing? Or, are you having kids and they're having kids, right? You could bond more there, right? It's like you can move people up and down there. So anyway, I just want to share that with Relationship Sync is basically put people inside of a category of sorts and just give them back what they're giving you, right? And it's kind of that whole creating fate thing before. It's like, you could take the lead on any friend or any family or whatever, but it's like just kind of meet people where they're at. If I text somebody and they respond in 6 hours, then I know it's a 6-hour wait time relationship. If I text my partner and they respond within 10 minutes, that's a very tentative partner. That's closer to a 10, right? And if you text somebody and they don't respond for a day, it's like, I get people are busy, but kind of where's the relationship? And then it's like, do you want that relationship increased? If yes, then figure out how to bond better, right? How to bond together. And anyway, that's what I want to share with Relationship Sync. Hope you guys are doing well. I know the last 2 here have been more about decisions and relationships. But I know that I'm going to be getting into some more mathy ones that I know some people like more mathy, more algorithms, more formulas, types of things. And yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Thanks, and talk soon.